to another episode of Season 6 of Hoda's Career Info. Thank you for your continued support. Many of you shared thoughtful feedback, and I listen. In Season 6, we're spotlighting lived experiences of career literacy, and today's guest brings that to life. Today's guest is senior high student Christopher Vargas Ibarra, who experienced career-connected learning at a very young age. Christopher's parents, if you are listening or watching, thank you so much for giving him the opportunity and permission to share his experience with us. I am your host, Hoda Kilani, career and academic coach. Stay tuned as I build on your continued engagement and trust. Let's go.
Having a career sense not only just allows you to explore your careers, also just allows you to explore your personal interests. Having an object in front of us and like us being exploring how it works or like to being able to feel it just makes us feel more in touch with the world around us and how it works. Not be afraid to explore your interest. Education can change us, who we are, and what we want to do in the future. And I think that's really beautiful because you're opening a new chapter of your life that you never know could have opened.
Thank you for joining Hoda's Career Info, the program where guests from across the globe share their lived career literacy experiences. Real stories designed to help you actively and intentionally shape your career. Watch, listen, and learn. If you find this episode helpful, remember to like, subscribe, and share feedback. Also, follow me, Hoda Kilani, on social media for more career literacy insights. Who is our guest today? I will read his bio as he shared it with me. Hello, everyone. My name is Christopher Vargas Ibarra. I'm a senior at Bostonia Global High, which is a competency-based school. My goals are to become an automotive technician, and I have previous experience by having a pre-apprenticeship at the San Diego Automotive Museum, where me and my coworkers restored a 1966 Ford Mustang to life after 25 years of it sitting. I was also at the City of El Cajon Fleet Services, where I serviced fire trucks, police cruisers, utility trucks, and more. Thank you for joining me and Christopher. Stay with us, and together, let us learn from Christopher's experience. Welcome, Christopher, to Hoda's Career Info. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hello, thank you.
Christopher, the reason I invited you to be on Hoda's Career Info because you are one of the few lucky students who have experienced career education from a young age. Can you tell us a little bit about the program you experienced in your school?
My school is different than most traditional schools. Instead of using letter grades, we use competencies to grade each other, and we've been able to align this with our project-based learning program where we use projects instead of just regular work of papers and just a regular work you would find in a traditional high school. We are able to express ourselves and our interests in projects while being aligned for the curriculum that was given to us. And another program that I've used extensively is our mentorship program. My first year at Bostonia and my second year, I was able to land a mentorship with the City of El Cajon Fleet Services, where I was able to work on the police cars, their SWAT vehicles, as well as their fire trucks and their lawn equipment. And then my junior year, I was able to secure a paid peer apprenticeship, which was our first jumpstart into paid peer apprenticeships at the San Diego Automotive Museum, where I was restoring a 1966 Ford Mustang with our coworkers. And we actually brought that Mustang to campus, and it was such a blast to have it there. So many kids were asking questions, and it was just amazing to see all these kids just very interested in the program.
Christopher, that sounds like an amazing experience. Can you just share with the audience what grade was that you got that internship?
So I was in 11th grade when I got the paid pre-apprenticeship, and I was in ninth and 10th grade when I got the City of Oklahoma Fleet Services mentorship.
Beautiful opportunity. How would you describe your experience receiving career education? Did that change things for you if you are to look at it in retrospect at your young age?
It definitely changed my understanding of what I wanted to do because originally I just wanted to be in the field, just throw myself out there. But after that, it was just more aligning for me, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do, which is to be an automotive technician and just repair the cars and see them on the road. It gives me not only pride but joy, and it makes me have a sense of purpose in life is to help people, maybe even low income families, repair their vehicles and go out there and be able to do their most important duties, like going to an appointment for a doctor or something like that. It just makes me feel really happy.
Christopher, can you give us a little bit more detail in that, how these experiences help you choose what you're thinking you want to be today?
So specifically right now, automotive technician, and I was just working more closely with the mechanics because in the city of El Cajon, we had two positions kind of that we were doing. One was actually messing around with the vehicles and fixing them, and the other was doing paperwork. And I noticed that I was more hands-on than I thought I would be. I was more of a hands-on person with the cars, whacking wrenches and placing parts and putting them back in. And that's the same part with the museum as well. We had some speaking engagements. And while I do love speaking engagements, I really, really love to dive deep into the mechanics aspect. Even so, I actually spent an hour after the program ended for a day just whacking on the wrench with the car and just having a feel of how it felt. And it was just really enriching for me.
That's very, very cool. Can you remind the audience what grade are you in today?
I am a senior or a 12th grader at Boston Global.
Christopher, knowing what you know today, do you think paid work can be meaningful work?
Yes, any work can be meaningful, but especially paid work can be meaningful because what I'm hoping paid work would be for our school is that it'll be an incentive, not a leading action to pursue that mentorship. I want the leading action or the leading incentive, I would call it, is that you want to explore that field or you want to explore that interest of yours, and then have the paid aspect be at a another smaller incentive. Like, oh, I have a mentorship here and this aligns with my interest, but it also gets paid. And I just think that's really awesome if I do get paid for it.
Thank you, Christopher, for taking on that question. I have another tough question for you. What would you say to policymakers, teachers, or other caregivers of young people if you had the power to tell them this is what you should be doing?
We should implement RIASEC pretty early. I know in my district we have RIASEC at the transitional kindergarten age, but I feel like if we can have it throughout the entirety of districts, integrating RISEC and more career exploring subjects in our younger students, it would give them more sense of identity of their careers and their interests because having a career sense not only just allows you to explore your career, it also just allows you to explore your personal interests. Like, for example, I wanted to be an automotive, like, I want to do automotive, right? But I also explored the social media side of like companies like Porsche. They have an amazing photography team, and I was able to also explore my interest of photography with the San Diego Automotive Museum because they have their own PR team, and I actually worked with one of the cameramen, and he's really awesome. He showed me some tips and tricks on what to do, and it really just jumbled my experience and really helped me emphasize my interest in photography, not only in automotive, but just in nature in general. And it just really was helpful. Another thing I would tell policymakers and teachers alike is to just have more hands-on things. Because I've been experiencing lately, kids are hands-on. They like to grab things and that goes for all ages. Like, yeah, some of us we have different learning experiences, but having an object in front of us and like us being exploring how it works or like to being able to feel it just makes us feel more in touch with the world around us and how it works.
As a passionate advocate of career education, I love what you're saying and the advice you just gave. You mentioned the Rayasak. Would you like to share with the audience what Rayasak means to you?
Yeah, so what RISEC means to me, it's like an exploratory tool that us students can use to explore different careers that lie underneath the RISECs because each letter means something. So my RISEC is RINC, which realistic means you like to work with your hands. You're like a physical person. You like to rack wrenches or use electric tools or mechanical tools even. Investigative is like a person who likes to be like an investigator, someone that likes to find problems or find different evidence of different stuff. And I just really like doing that. I like to figure out why things are not working properly and how to problem solve. And conventional, which is my last letter, means you like to be really organized. You like to organize different paperwork, or you want to make sure everything looks neat and organized and be able to be easily accessible. And that's really important in my job because you don't want to lose bolts or else you're gonna get screamed at and you're gonna be stressing out like, where's this, where's that? And so that's a really big part of organization.
Thank you, Christopher, for sharing your experience with Rayasak. I've got one last question for you. Can career literacy or career education change young people's life trajectory?
Yes, I believe it can change younger people's lives trajectory because we grow as a person and our interest or our feelings of stuff always change. Like for me, when I was really young, I wanted to be a train engineer. I wanted to work on the trains and I really fascinated about trains. When I was here in San Diego for a little bit, I was brought to the automotive museum. I was like, whoa, these cars are really cool. This is what I want to do when I grow up. And I've just been wanting to do that ever since. And I've had other friends who wanted to be a biomedical engineer, turned into a nurse. Someone wanted to work with kids. They wanted to be a physical therapist now. And it's just education can change us, who we are, and what we want to do in the future. And I think that's really beautiful because you're opening a new chapter of your life that you never know could have opened.
Very well said. And thank you so much, Christopher. These were all the questions I had prepared for you today. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about that I didn't ask you, or maybe a message to young people to help me wrap up the episode?
I just wanted to shoot a message to the younger people. Do not be afraid to explore your interest. I know that you may sometimes be in a pickle where you feel like you're like not accomplishing much, but if you just do a little bit of research and you figure out, I don't want to do this anymore, I actually like this instead, that's a such huge progress because what I've heard from stories from people 20 years ago, they said that they didn't know what to do, so they picked a random major and now they switched that major like 4 or 5 different times. And I would rather someone younger switch their identity of career when they were younger, like middle or high school, rather than spend $20,000 on a major that they didn't like. And that's what I've been doing is I changed my major from automotive engineer to automotive tech, like technology or mechanical engineering. And I feel set on that. That's just something that I just wanted to point out.
This is the perfect advice to wrap up the episode, Christopher. Thank you again for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Well, this is it for today's episode of Season 6 of Hoda's Career Info, the program where guests from across the globe join me to empower you to succeed. Our guest today on Hoda's Career Info was Christopher Vargas Ibarra. The quote that stood out to me in this episode is, "Education can change us, who we are, and what we want to do in the future." And I think that's really beautiful because you are opening a new chapter in your life that you never knew you could have opened. My question to you: if education can open chapters that we never imagined possible, then what chapter are you hesitating to begin? And what might be waiting for you on the other side of that first step? Reflect and share. Remember, you can watch Hoda's Career Info on YouTube or listen to the episode on your favorite podcast app. To let me know if you are interested in an opportunity to talk about your career literacy skills, you can send me a direct message on my website, rightcareerfit.com, where you can also sign up for my newsletter to stay up to date on the latest episode. Please like, subscribe, follow, and share your thoughts on social media. And together, let us increase career literacy. I am your host, Hoda, career and academic coach. I cannot wait to hear your reflections on career literacy in action. Until next time, take a moment to pause, rethink, and confidently assert your beliefs, experiences, abilities, values, and interests, also known as your BV.